Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Wingman Wisdom, where we sit around, as I call it, a virtual campfire and visit with others who are extremely thoughtful, open-minded, and experienced people, and we all share our wisdom together. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I am the RV Wingman. I'm a former campground owner and lifelong RVer and lover of the great outdoors. I love most of the people that do it most of the time, I say. And today's video, I'm being joined by my good friend Kevin Frazer from Cheyenne Camping Center. If you don't know who Kevin is, let me just back up and tell you. He's been in the RV industry his entire life for more than 50 years. Nobody is more honest. Nobody that I know will share more insight than Kevin Frazer will. I sat down recently with him. I got a lot of material. This, I think, is the fourth video in the series that we're doing from that last sit down with Kevin. And in this segment, Kevin may have misspoke, but can you believe an RV dealer would tell you that there was a time when they literally thought they might be ripping their customers off? We're going to talk about it right now. What does your gut tell you when you're listening to people, customers, and taking phone calls about how's the public feeling about RVing today compared to maybe a year, 2, 3 years ago? Still interested in RVing, or are they too worried about, buying groceries? What's the sense that you're getting, Kevin?
The veterans, and this is just occurring to me now. The guys that have been doing RVs for 20 years or more, they've seen it all before. Yeah, we're going through another one of those patches. It'll sort everything out. All those rude jackasses that were in the campground to go do something somewhere else. No, it's going to get better now. That's what I'm getting. When we go through a patch like this where everything gets run up and everything's turned upside down, I don't know if the customer's thinking about this, but what I'm thinking is that we're in for a nice period of dull, boring stability. No crazy stuff. And we're going to lose a bunch of competitors, but the ones we're going to lose are the ones that were bad actors. So great news, right?
Yeah, they needed to go anyway.
Yeah, I just hope they don't leave too much damage behind, honest to God. I don't even know enough about too many of them. There's a lot of stuff going on. Now, let's just leave that one alone. The market's going to sort this out and tell us everything we need to know. We'll talk about that another time.
Okay, but you said that if I had an RV and I wanted to sell it, now's not a good time to sell it?
No, I'd wait till spring. Right now, you're competing with the ones you just mentioned. Make an offer, we're in trouble. And it isn't going to happen anyway. It's just not going to happen. You're going to frustrate yourself. Now, if you place an ad to sell it at a price that you want to sell it at, that's okay if somebody who needs it to put on their yard while they rebuild their house in Florida. That's a good idea. I can't say anything against that, but don't get enthused about the prospect. Don't think it's going to happen. And your trailer, the only thing that's going to sell for that Ian release stuff is if it's a trailer, a travel trailer.
Not a fifth wheel.
They're not going to want fifth wheels and they're not going to want motorhomes. So if you got a travel trailer, you might put it on one of the online apps. If you go to eBay, you will get it sold, but you might have to take less than you want. But that's how we sell all ours, is on eBay. And I got to tell you, even on eBay, things are way slowed down now. We're in a position here at Cheyenne where we're just relaxing, getting ready. I can't see next year very well. I'm thinking it's going to be first quarter. The first quarter will be over before people are breathing normally.
I kind of see the same thing. I do. Kevin, I've got some questions and things that people have submitted since you were on, since we did a series. And I know that you don't know any of these. None of them are really hard, but I'd like to read some and get you to respond. Can we do that?
Sure. I don't do algebra.
Okay. It says, hey, Wingman, Kevin said, and this is about motorhomes. You had talked very briefly about motorhomes. He says, this is from a guy named Gene. He says, Kevin said that they got out of the motorhome biz as Cheyenne because in a way, he said it was like they were ripping people off. Would you please ask him to elaborate more on the comment, because we're looking at purchasing one next year, and Kevin's comment got my attention. Thanks for your time. Love the show, Gene. So what did you mean, and what do motorhome buyers, especially somebody that's never had a motorhome, what do you think they need to realize before they sign on the dotted line?
A little bit of history. For many years, we were the largest motorhome dealer in the state of Iowa. There was a lot of years we sold more motorhomes than travel trailers. But then we got into this century. And the signs were already there in the 1990s. Motorhome prices went up a lot faster than other RVs. Motorhomes were getting pretty damned expensive. And motorhome sellers started doing things with financing to cover those expenses. And pretty soon, a 15-year note was quite normal. And then a 20, and believe it or not, 25-year notes on rolling stock. When a person was buying a motorhome from us, and we stopped selling the big motorhomes in 2009 altogether. We sold little ones, I mean really little ones, on Mercedes chassis for a few years after that. They held their value. In fact, they went up in value. But when we were selling those big motorhomes, it was a decision being made in the household that affected their financial future. If they decided to buy a motorhome and put it on a 15, 20, or 25-year note, it could affect their retirement plans. It could affect their ability to live the retirement life that they wanted, because you're talking about half a working lifetime on that note. And motorhomes are a lot more expensive to maintain than people were led to believe. You talk to your friends, and anybody that's sold a motorhome, they went back to a trailer or even a fifth wheel, because that motorhome just was constant maintenance and constant expense. So my brothers and I had a lengthy conversation about this back in 2009, and we were selling the best motorhomes there were. We were selling Newmars, and we did chapters. We said, well, this customer had this happen. This is what they did. This is how they enjoyed themselves. And then they were unhappy. And were they unhappy with us? Well, maybe they should be. So did we want to have a cadre of customers that were out telling the world that I'm unhappy, my financial future was diminished because I did business with Cheyenne Camping Center? Isn't that kind of like ripping somebody off? So that's why we stopped. Now we left, and our accountant said we left hundreds of millions of dollars on the table, but you know what we did? We'll just sell the stuff that doesn't affect a person's whole life. You want to have an RV, you don't have to spend $200,000 on a diesel pusher motorhome. Well, some people do, because it's for not owning or using the motorhome. It's for something else. And that's okay too. Those people should buy it. But those people should have the cash, right? And they shouldn't be, if somebody wants to buy a $200,000, $300,000, $1 million motorhome, I gotta hope they're not financing it unless it's strictly for tax reasons.
You know, I see people that buy a big Class A diesel pusher or gas, it doesn't matter, a big, expensive, couple $100,000 motorhome, and they're all excited, and they should be. But after a while, after a couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, and you still got 15 years left on your note, and things start breaking down, and every time you take it to the shop, it's 10 grand or more. It sort of wears on them. And I think that once that if somebody is watching this and wants to buy a motorhome, as long as they know that it's going to be an expensive thing to maintain. Now, I know people that if you maintain your motorhome and you're willing to do that, you can be a happy motorhome owner. And I love motorhomes. I just don't love the thought of the drivetrain going out on me. Transmissions.
Okay, the people that we sold motorhomes to that are happy, paid cash for them. They maintained it themselves as a hobby and did it with Q-tips. Or they were so well off that they had a mechanic on staff that took care of it for them. So I guess if this person's planning to buy a motorhome next year, ask him if he's going to maintain it himself as a hobby. But, it always has to go to the shop for something you can't do. And if they're going to have to borrow a lot of money to do it. If they're buying it and maintaining it as a hobby, and it's the coolest thing in the whole world, and it's what they really want, because you and I both spend money stupidly too.
Yeah,
they should do it. But we were putting people in keeping up with the Joneses products that had stupid notes, and that was wrong.
Kevin, that's what I love so much about you and your whole team there. I really mean it. I know we work together and you know, all that kind of stuff, but you are so honest and so helpful to people, and you just tell the truth, and you want to truly help people. And it's not that a motorhome is a bad thing. It's not bad for everybody, but it's not what most people think it is when they get into it.
That's what we meant. What I meant when I said to you, it felt like we were ripping people off.
You know, I don't think there's another RV dealer in the country that is more open and honest than Kevin Frazer is. He truly is a great man. No one is more honorable. No one is more trustworthy. I'll say this, Kevin will never knowingly lie. He will never knowingly deceive somebody. Never. And I value that greatly. That said, I want to know what you think. Do you find these videos with Kevin Frazer to be helpful, or are they too in the weeds and stuff, you know, about stuff you don't care about? I want to know what you think of my interviews with Kevin, because I don't want to use him too much. And if you guys don't like him at all, that's okay too. I want to hear from you. The best way to contact me is you can either drop a comment below, or as I always say, click on the word more in this description. Click on more. It'll open up. You'll see many of the people, including Cheyenne Camping Center, that I do consulting work with, as well as my email address, my cell phone number. And if I don't pick up, I've got a 24-hour voicemail. We want to hear from you. We really do. Thank you so much for watching. If you've not yet subscribed to Wingman Wisdom, do so now and give this video a like and share it with your family and friends on the internet who love to camp and RV. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe. Have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.